Remember, guys, we come to this world being familiar with pain, suffering, and discomfort, trauma. And I'm not talking about every single person. Obviously, there are people who have been privileged enough to never know these things close to heart. But the majority of the human experience involves discomfort, trauma, darkness, evil, injustice. And we're talking about situations that we were dealing with as a child. And it doesn't have to be so grotesque or something so extremely vile. But as a child though, anything that we experience, we absorb like a sponge and it leaves a lasting impact. And the majority of us begin wanting to claim sovereignty over that darkness. The majority of us actually start wanting something different. Even if the brightness that we seek was something that we've never been shown before, somehow there's deep down inside like something arises within us that makes us want to aim for something that's brighter, that is of light, that is of empowerment, that is of God, that is of highness. But that actually means now that you're going to be actively entering this battlefield of what you know to be true, of what reality is, which is what you're going to be comfortable with. You're comfortable with discomfort. You're comfortable with dysfunction. You're comfortable with trauma, pain, suffering. And what also happens is that you end up inflicting the same thing over and over yourself. While claiming that you want light, you want power, you want sovereignty, you want freedom, you want God, while claiming that, you still also hold on to these things that are familiar to you. Why? Because to let go of this, to let go of your familiar zone, that's also painful. So that's the trap where people get stuck in. You claim that you want God, you claim that you want highness and truth and the more, you want to experience more. But in order for you to experience more, you have to make space for that. And that actually means letting go of everything that you know to be true, which is pain. You are saying that this no longer feels good to you, but you have to now distinguish the difference between what actually feels good versus what is actually good. In order for you to actually pursue what is actually good, which is what you're aspiring to achieve, right? The state of God and consciousness and more and freedom from this pain, then that's going to be a painful process because now you're going through an ego death. Why? Your ego is your identity. Your ego consists of your shadows and the parts of yourself that you don't like, and which is why now you're aiming for something different. That is going to be painful. And this is where people fail. Getting stripped off of our ego and shadows, that's scary, actually. So that's why people keep going back to the same cycle. Victim mentality, blaming other people, believing that you're always victimized or it's everybody else's fault, or that you're too afraid to let go of this identity, that you are this person, that person. And how you battle this is that you continue to take responsibility for everything that happens in your life. But that's very hard. Why? Because that's also you killing your own ego. This is where the battle is. You want freedom, you want to evolve, you want victory over this war that you go through, then you have to be stronger than your feelings, than your ego. Remember this. We're all born into this world normalizing pain and suffering and darkness, the majority of us. But if you want to correct what you deem as normal, then you gotta put in the work for that. You have to fight for that. You have to redefine it. And to redefine what is normal for you, what is good for you, requires you to actually authentically look at what has been normal for you. Also, how you have been, even unintentionally or unconsciously, have been the enabler in your own cycle full of wounds and traumas, especially as an adult. You see, whatever happened to you when you were a child or when you were younger, when you were not autonomous, we can't help it. But at a certain point, you have to grow up. That's how you do it.